The Ferrari's engine died with a sharp metallic gasp, the sound echoing across the bright afternoon highway like a cry for help. Heat shimmered above the sunlit asphalt, and the red luxury car, sleek, flawless, expensive, sat helpless on the roadside. Inside, billionaire tech investor Alaric Vance gripped the steering wheel, disbelief washing over his perfectly composed face. He was a man who owned skyscrapers and startups, who could buy solutions with a signature. But at that moment, under the wide blue daytime sky, none of his wealth could make the engine turn over again. And just a few steps away, standing beside a faded blue pickup truck with chipped paint and dusty tires, a little girl in a sunflower yellow dress whispered something that would change everything. If you believe in kindness and second chances, take a moment right now to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel Life Spark Stories. Your support helps us bring more heartfelt stories like this to life. The girl's name was Maricela Cruz, 8 years old, with 2 long braids tied in mismatched pink ribbons. Her sneakers were worn at the edges, and her wide brown eyes reflected curiosity rather than intimidation. She watched the frustrated millionaire step out of his car, his tailored gray suit sharp against the humble roadside scene. Her father, Joaquin Cruz, stood beside her, wiping grease from his hands with an old cloth. Joaquin was 37, lean from years of manual labor, his dark hair slightly graying at the temples, his plaid shirt faded from countless washes. He had pulled over simply to help. Alaric had barely noticed the pickup at first. He was too busy making calls that went unanswered, packing with irritation. The nearest service center was miles away. His important meeting in the city would be missed. His schedule, his control, his certainty, all slipping away under the relentless afternoon sun. Maricela tugged gently at her father's sleeve and looked toward the stranded man. She didn't see a millionaire. She saw someone stuck, someone worried, someone who needed help. Her small voice floated across the warm air as she whispered almost shyly that her dad could fix it. Joaquin hesitated. The Ferrari was a machine far more complex than the aging engines he usually repaired in his modest garage. But he saw something else too, a chance to show his daughter that helping others wasn't about status. It was about heart. He approached the sleek car carefully, asking permission with quiet respect. Alaric, skeptical but desperate, gave a curt nod. The contrast between them was almost cinematic. The polished billionaire standing stiffly in Italian leather shoes, the humble mechanic kneeling on hot pavement, rolling up his sleeves. Joaquin listened to the engine like it was speaking to him, his experienced hands moving with patience and instinct. Maricela stood nearby, shielding her eyes from the bright sunlight, watching her father like he was a hero. Minutes stretched into half an hour. Cars roared past. Sweat traced lines down Joaquin's temples. Alaric checked his watch repeatedly, his impatience slowly melting into reluctant curiosity. He found himself observing the father and daughter instead. The way she smiled at him with complete confidence. The way Joaquin explained small things to her while working, turning the moment into a lesson rather than a burden. Finally, Joaquin tightened one last bolt and asked Alaric to try the ignition. There was a brief, heavy silence. Then the engine roared back to life, smooth and powerful as if nothing had happened. The sound seemed louder than before, triumphant against the open sky. Alaric stared at the dashboard in disbelief. Relief flooded his face, quickly followed by something unfamiliar, humility. He reached for his wallet instinctively, pulling out several crisp bills. Joaquin gently shook his head. He accepted only a modest amount, far less than offered. He explained simply that he charged fairly, not extravagantly. Help should never feel like exploitation. That was when Alaric truly noticed Maricela again. She wasn't impressed by the car or the money. She was proud of her father, and that pride struck him deeper than any business victory ever had. He realized that despite all his success, he had spent years chasing numbers instead of moments, respect instead of relationships, power instead of purpose. Before leaving, Alaric asked Joaquin about his garage and learned it was struggling. Rising rents, fewer customers, mounting bills. Joaquin never complained, he simply stated facts. He believed hard work would see them through. Maricela held his hand tightly, her faith unwavering. Weeks later, under another bright afternoon sky, Joaquin received an unexpected visitor. Alaric stepped out of a modest sedan this time, dressed simply. He had invested in Joaquin's garage, not as charity but as partnership. New equipment, fair marketing, community outreach programs to teach young apprentices mechanical skills. He said he wanted to build something real, something lasting. Business flourished. The garage became a respected workshop in the community. Joaquin hired staff, trained teens who needed guidance, and finally felt stability replace quiet worry. And every now and then, a red Ferrari would glide into the lot for routine checks, gleaming in the daylight like a reminder of how quickly life can turn. Maricela never stopped believing her dad could fix anything. But what none of them expected was that he had fixed something far greater than an engine that day. He had repaired a weary heart and reminded a millionaire what truly mattered. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and tell us your thoughts in the comments. Your engagement helps these stories reach more people who need a little hope today. And before we end, write "kindness wins" in the comments if you believe even the smallest act can change a life.